fill me in. What's this deal with Kodiak versus Vex? These are two VTubers. I know we have a lot of VTuber fans watching today. So catch me up and tell me why this is important.
Well, first and foremost, when we say Vex, it needs to be clear this is not talking about the VTuber Vexoria the Sun Eater. She is not involved in this in any way. The VTuber in question is named Vex Milk, and the other VTuber is Kodiak. And apparently what happened is Vex supposedly received an email from Kodiak, and you have it on the screen there. It's scroll down a little bit, and in this email you have Kodiak's real name. The email address is actually not his. It is a spoofed email address, and you can see in the body of the email there is some very disgusting things being said, and basically, as a result of this, someone at this point, it is not known whom, there is suspicions that it may be someone of either Vex herself or someone from her community, not substantiated, no evidence to support that yet, but someone contacted Kodiak's place of work multiple times and issued a complaint citing this email that he is essentially SAing women online. And the end result is Kodiak was fired from his job because of this. And so now he is out of a job, and the Vex person basically eventually she took the post down where she put him on blast with this fake email that did not come from him saying all sorts of terrible things. She took it down, but now the community at large is looking at Vex and her community as going after Kodiak for no reason. He had done nothing, and essentially doxing him and causing this VTuber to lose his real life job. To my understanding, like, he's not a full-time streamer. He would rely upon this daytime job for income. He now no longer has that income because someone doxed him, did false allegations against him, and caused him to get fired. So it is just an absolutely horrible situation all around, and kind of just shows how toxic people are in some of these communities, which, I mean, Vex kind of fostered this with past posts that she's made. And, there's stuff going on with her, with Advanced GG, with where she was like calling out Revan Straub back when Revan Straub had to deal with that nonsense with Advanced GG. And there's a lot of people looking hard at her of she should suffer, she should be looking at some consequences if she is at least partially, if she was the one involved in this happening. I do know that Kodiak said on his stream that he has retained an attorney, keeping the rest of it close to his chest because obviously he doesn't want to spoil any case that he may be bringing up. But it's a horrible situation all around. It kind of just showcases why, especially as VTubers, we really need to maintain our personal security and not let, not give out too much information, because stuff like this happens. Someone doesn't like you, or someone just wants to basically troll you and be an asshole, and they can effectively destroy your life, which is what happened to Kodiak. And it just, it deserves a little bit more attention because of how heinous the action has been.
Let me just kind of recap what I'm hearing here. Beef online between two creators. One of the creators says they didn't reach out, but more or less someone in their audience may have potentially reached out to the other creator's actual IRL job. And then in turn, that IRL job fires them for allegations, not even like substantiated allegations, right? These are just things that somebody said maybe possibly happened.
Yeah,
that's
correct. Yeah, it's it is. There's no evidence to basically any evidence of who actually facilitated these false allegations would come through a discovery if any case is brought by an attorney. It is suspected that there's one particular individual that may, no evidence, but may. There's a lot of circumstantial evidence surrounding this. It's kind of like what we've seen with the quartering, where someone said, where someone says something, I'm going to do X, and then a day or two later, X happens, and then the person goes, oh no, it wasn't me. But it's like we're seeing the circumstantial evidence where it's like, okay, this can't be a coincidence. And the person in particular who had spoken to Vex on, through Twitter posts and said, I've got this person's job information. Do you want me to pull the trigger on this one? And then later, after everything blows up and Vex starts backpedaling because she's receiving so much backlash from posting everything in this, the other person that had been speaking to her, which I think is in one of the tweets that I sent to Blabs, that person has since basically wiped their entire social platform or wiped their social presence. They told they were part of Vex's Discord. They said, go ahead and ban me from the Discord. I'm deleting my Twitter account. I'm basically disappearing online. And I'm sorry, that's not the actions of a person who has nothing to hide. And it's just, again, it's all circumstantial. There's no, as of yet, concrete evidence. But I'm sorry, it's way too similar to what we have seen happening in regards to the quartering recently, that this kind of stuff is just becoming way too prevalent in the online space, where people are, because someone says something you don't agree with, that now you're going to destroy their livelihoods and their lives. And it's disgusting. It's honestly very disgusting.
Well, this goes back to, I think, what Phoenix has talked about many, many times, is the idea that we are drastically underestimating the hate and vile that these people have for your ideas and you thinking incorrectly according to them. And they will go to no limits to destroy you. And ultimately, they want you dead. They want your livelihood gone, as you see in an instance like this. I don't know either of these creators. I've never heard of either of them, and that's okay, right? But I do know that the idea, and by the way, this guy should probably, this idea of getting fired for somebody just sending an email saying, hey, did you hear what this guy maybe possibly said online, or he's harassing somebody? There's so many layers to that. That I think is so unbelievably wrong. The idea that you could be fired for simply an accusation of something.
Do we have proof of that? I'm just curious. Is there actual proof that he got fired from a job?
So
Kodiak said it on his stream. He related it on stream.
So I'm mutuals with Kodiak, and obviously I don't have anything against him, but I would just caution, because we don't have evidence that he actually got let go, and obviously he can cross out his name and whatever. I would take it with caution. Not saying that he didn't or did, but evidence is always nice about these things.
Of course.
I was wondering, because then if there was proof of it, then yeah, it makes it
I don't know how y'all do this. The idea, it seems like the VTuber fandom extremely passionate, but also very at times vile, right? It's very tribal, and it seems tribal. I don't think I've ever heard of somebody that thinks centrist or right going out of their way to try to get somebody fired for an allegation or creating an allegation of that. Maybe it's happened. I don't know, but I've just never seen that.
I think it's very few in comparison to the people who are on the left or claim to be liberal or whatever. And I mean, I've been following Kirsha and Leaflet for a while. I remember when Kirsha got her drama, and she basically had to flee her home because of people. And if you have any sort of wrong think, you're basically casted out of the space. She can't go to Offkai. I don't think Rev and Straub can either. I don't think any of us here can actually even go to, big VTuber events like that, because we're seen as a problem and will affect their bottom line. We have to make our own thing, honestly.
Well, the problem is a lot of these companies and these groups like Offkai and, just random companies. You had the same thing happen with Makeshift, right? Is these people will do whatever they can. They'll complain and they'll make a big fuss about it. And then these companies basically overestimate their power and then buy into them because they're afraid. But they don't understand that the instant you do that, you're their now. The moment you say okay, well, I'm going to remove. And the thing is I've had conversations with these people. And it's well, I don't really have a problem with you, but that's it is what it is. They're getting mad. I'm you do understand that if you do this, you're their bitch forever, basically, because this doesn't end with me. You think this ends with me? It doesn't. It's the next person and the next person and the next person, and you're in this forever in this cascade of being their bitch.
Well, I'll say this: you talk about building.
You saw this with Nike.
Oh yeah,
with Nike, they had the same thing happen recently, where they had an advert that people started, screaming about it, and then they took that down. And so Nike basically just signaled to the entire world, well, if you don't like something that we say or something that we do, just complain about it online en masse, and we'll immediately bend the knee. It doesn't matter if you're a paying customer or not.
You talked about creating alternatives. That's something that is literally like in our mission statement here with Side Scrollers. Like,
Yes.
we want to create alternatives. And I will tell you this. I've had multiple conversations with VTubers. Like I said, I am such an idiot when it comes to the VTuber space, but I do know events, and I've had multiple conversations with people saying, you guys got to do a VTuber event. You guys got to do a VTuber con, right? Because you mentioned Off-Kai, right? And I've had several people reach out and say, hey, I would love to help with that. And where we lack in the expertise from that perspective, we have expertise in an events perspective. So maybe that's something we pursue moving ahead, because it seems like there's a giant opportunity there. Yes, Phoenix.
How does that work?
So, Leaflet, I'll actually let you describe that, because you when it comes to VTuber events.
Well, I mean, it would be like, I suppose, like an entire convention would be like, just if that's the idea. I don't know what the idea that you're having, but Off-Kai is a convention.
Mhm.
If you're planning on doing something like that, it's not too bad. You just have to have good internet. That's it. If you can have good internet, like good stable internet, at least like on your end, then you can use that to just basically, VTubers from all around the world can connect to it. And then so you would have events like meet and greets. I think they do concerts, and then most of it is, again, it's virtual, right? So you don't have to. You just play a video or something like. You
Yeah, I
make a
mean, if
good,
it's
big edited video.
Yeah, it's the physical space. I don't understand how it would work, but I mean, I could certainly make an event feel really big and large and have VTubers on there, similar to what we've kind of done, but just on a bigger scale than our little VTuber gameplay segments that we'll do every once in a while. That's something that I can absolutely help out with
If
virtually.
If I can add to this, if you guys were to ever do something like physical, because Leaf, I know you've been with Mosobox. They might be a good person to maybe talk to and bring on. But they sell like merchandise for VTubers, and they give them like a portion of the sales that they make when they go to these cons. I know FaceCon is going to be a big thing this year. I don't know. Face Connect is one of the bigger VTubing agencies here in the West, and they're gonna have meets and greets, like Leafly mentioned, concerts. Artist alleys are a really important part to have people selling their work. You can sell tables to them, so you can make a little money there, and food and stuff, But if it's virtual, I mean, there's probably a way to have like virtual rooms where people can go and meet VTubers, and still maybe even have artists link their shops or something. So might be interesting.
One of the cool things, real quick, like Rumble Studio is something that I've actually been really excited about. Is they're in the process of, I don't know exactly, but the Rumble Studio, I think, now has a feature where you can have call-ins, and it like actually queues them up and stuff like that. If you were to take something like that, again, I'm talking virtually here, and have a big VTuber event, and maybe people can call in and stuff like that, and actually talk with them. I think something like that could also be fun. Again, I'm thinking virtual level here. Greg, I don't know if you're thinking actual physical space.
I'm thinking physical. Yeah,
physical.
I'm thinking physical. Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. Because I've had that conversation as well. I listen. That's a conversation we're going to have. Like I said, we are all about alternatives. We will absolutely be doing live events moving ahead. But because of the things that we talk about here, as far as the insanity of the other side, the detractors, when you do an event like that, the cost is exponentially more, because you have to have let's just say we were doing an event, and that event was going to cost $10,000. Well, not anymore, because now we have to have security everywhere, and security has to be is an exponential cost for that much more. So that $10,000 event now costs $30,000, right? Because of that event. Well, that $200,000 event now costs $400,000, because you have to have, if you're going to have that big a scale, so these are all things that unfortunately we have to think about, and making sure that everybody is safe when it comes to these things. And honestly, that sucks, because it does cost more to produce the exact same event because of those additional costs. That sucks.
It's kind of crazy, because like while we were talking about this, I literally just got news that I was getting brigaded for some convention stuff, and I might not be able to do that anymore.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, I just found out about it like literally right now.
Wow.
A bunch of VTubers don't like me, and they're basically saying that they're gonna boycott events if I'm there.
And that's just it. Like, you have to be boycott proof. You have to be cancel proof, and that's what we're building here, which is good. An ecosystem for people to not be able to be canceled. That's the goal.
I'm just so annoyed because I didn't like. I don't know. It's just very annoying.
I was just gonna say, like, I would love for, in a perfect universe, all of us that are outside the norm there, those that are rejected from the normal entertainment sphere, I would love for us all to somehow like band together and create some kind of mega event where we all just we all agree, whatever, even if we don't like each other, whatever, but we all have the same goal. We come together, we make a big convention or some kind of event together, and we try to make that annual or something.
Phoenix, you are preaching to the choir, right? And I have had this exact same conversation with, I don't know, a dozen or so creators, and their response is all the same. I'm fine doing it on my own.
I actually have something to say in regards to that, if
Yes,
that's okay.
Yes, of course.
So when I was originally talking to one of my partners about this, and they were saying, oh, there's all this negative backlash against you. I'm not going to name any names, right? Yet, I will if it comes to it. But basically, they're saying oh, there's all this backlash, all these people don't like you, and people are threatening things, and people are very, very upset at me. And he told me, well, we might have to do something. And I said, listen, man, I've known you for so long, and I get it, and I have no hard feelings, but I need you to understand that if you do this, it's my moral imperative to destroy you.
Right.
It's my moral imperative to do everything in my power to destroy everything that you're about. And I think that we need people to have that mentality, because the thing is we're not the aggressors here, right? If somebody wants to go out there and say free Palestine or LGBT LMNOP, I don't care. I literally don't care. If they want to be on the same platform as me, they want to have the same partnerships as me, I literally don't care. I don't care. You can believe what you believe. I'll believe what I believe. That's not how they operate, though. They want you destroyed. And I know I'm getting a little bit emotional here, but I'm just I'm so tired just because I'm not the one that's being intolerant.
Leaflet,
It's
and
them.
to a degree, SS, Celestium, and Ember 2 have all inspired me to become a content creator. It's time I stepped up as well, so be it. You all have fun, but all of you have said what we say matters, with no further gainus halo.
Lord Warchild, thank you very much for that support in the middle of Leaflet's incredible rant.
Seriously, though, we have to destroy them. Every single person that does this, we have to destroy them, because if we don't destroy them, then they gain power using them. Now they belong to the people that are they belong to our enemies. So we have to do it.
Yeah, it just takes time, money, and resources. That's it. And we are so far behind when it comes to that, because they have a stronghold of literally every little bit of entertainment, and it's our job to create alternatives. Once again, create alternatives. That's it.